everyone, and welcome back to English for You. I'm Erin.
And I'm Mike.
All right, Mike, yesterday we learned what Danny got to do at the Earthquake Museum, the 921 Earthquake Museum.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I want to know, do you know what to do in an earthquake?
Scream.
Run, shake your arms.
Yep, that'll help. That'll help. No.
Me neither.
Well, first of all, I stay sitting and I act real cool.
Yeah.
Unless it starts to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I start to run around like a chicken with its head cut off. No, I think you're supposed to get under a table.
Something like that, yeah.
Stand in a doorway.
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
I think that's a little bit stronger than standing in the middle of the room where the roof crashes on your head.
Yeah, I don't
find an interior room. So like your bathroom might be good because it's smaller, might be a little bit safer and stronger. And if you're out in the street, get away from tall buildings because the glass can come falling down on you if windows break. But I think really with earthquakes, a lot of it is where you are and how strong the earthquake is.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's kind of luck.
Right.
We can't really plan for earthquakes like we can plan for typhoons and things like that. So.
All right. Well, Mike, it sounds like you have a pretty good idea of what to do. Yeah, but you know, Danny learned a bunch at the Earthquake Museum, and he's going to tell his mom about some of these things.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So let's find out what happens here.
Reading. An education in earthquakes.
Danny is at home with his mom.
The building is shaking. It's an earthquake.
It's a really big one.
Help! What if the building collapses?
Stay calm, Mom. We have to keep our heads. I learned what to do at the museum. Crawl under the table in the living room. It's big and heavy, so it'll protect us.
What about you?
I'll stay by the couch and lie down. We should both cover our heads.
The shaking has stopped. I want to go outdoors.
Okay, but we should take the stairs. The elevator might not be working. Mom, do we have an earthquake survival kit?
No, we don't, but it's better to have one. We need a flashlight and some spare batteries.
We should also put in first aid supplies like bandages.
Water is important too. We can add some energy bars as well, in case we need food.
They go outside and continue talking.
All right, so the article begins by telling us what's happening at the start of our dialogue. It says, Danny is at home with his mom. So as Erin mentioned, Danny has finished his tour of the museum. Now he's rushed back home and he's got all sorts of exciting things to tell his mom. But first, his mom has something even more exciting to tell Danny.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what is that? Well, she says the building is shaking. It's an earthquake.
Perfect. Danny just went to the museum.
He knows exactly what to do.
First, though, he's going to freak out a little bit, and he says, it's a really big one. So that means it's a big, powerful earthquake. The ground is really shaking. The pictures on the wall are banging, you know, all sorts of stuff. We all know about it, and none of us like it because it's scary. And Mom is scared, too.
Yeah, then she says, help! What if the building collapses? Now, we learned collapse yesterday. That's when something falls apart and kind of crashes to the ground. So she's really worried. Like, what if the building, you know, falls down?
That's right. It could happen if the earthquake is really big, but it's fairly unlikely. But anyways, people do get scared. So Danny gives his mom a bit of advice. He says, stay calm, Mom, stay calm. Don't panic. Don't run around like that chicken with its head cut off. Don't run around and going, we're all gonna die. No. Don't do that. Stay calm. All right, keep your head. That's what he says. We have to keep our heads. When you keep your head, you don't panic. You don't freak out. You go, okay, this is scary, this is bad, but let's make some really important but good decisions right now. Because if we don't, we could be in more danger. If you keep your head, you're also going to be checking out our Pocket Phrase Go because it's going to be very, very useful. So go do that now.
Pocket Phrase Go!
All I know is I won't go speechless. 大家喜歡我的轉音嗎？因為我實在是太生氣了。Why won't Baba listen to me? Anyone can see that Jafar wants to become the Sultan. 為什麼爸爸都看不出來甲方的詭計呢？不行，我不能太衝動，我需要冷靜。I need to keep my head and fight against Jafar. 不然會讓壞人甲方得逞。我絕對要冷靜，不能把這個蘇丹國王的位子被他搶走。誒，對了，我剛剛說了一句 I need to keep my head。誒，這可不是指我要把我的頭給保住哦。雖然我的頭好像有點重哦。Keep one's head 就是保持鎮靜，在口語中有點類似的說法，還有 calm down 或是 stay or keep cool， 以及 keep a cool head。但我個人最愛說法是 be as cool as a cucumber。沒錯，你沒有聽錯，就是我個人也很愛的小黃瓜 cucumber 這個字哦。所以 to be cool as a cucumber 字面上雖然是指像這個小黃瓜一樣怎麼樣清爽啦，但是呢，它其實是用來解釋當一個人碰到困難還有麻煩的時候，可以很淡定、冷靜、放鬆。所以為了保衛王國 I must remain as cool as a cucumber no matter what happens. I have to keep my head. I won't be silenced.
Okay, well, we can see Danny has kept his head.
Yes.
He's calm. He's calming down his mom.
Yes.
And he knows what to do. He says, I learned what to do at the museum. Crawl under the table in the living room. It's big and heavy, so it'll protect us.
That's good thinking, of course. Crawling under a table would be good, but a big, heavy table would be even better. But yes,
Right.
to get under the table, you will probably have to crawl.
That's right. Now, what are you doing when you crawl? Well, you're moving along the floor or the ground by kind of walking on your hands and knees.
Like
or,
a baby.
Yeah, like if you're all the way down, maybe you're kind of on your
like
arms
soldiers
here,
kind of
like
pull themselves
soldiers,
flat on the ground. Yeah.
But usually when we talk about crawl, we talk about kind of how the baby walks, you know, with their hands and knees, and they move across the floor really slowly. So your stomach and your head will usually be off the ground when that happens.
Yeah.
Now you can sort of think of crawling by thinking of how a baby moves before they stand up and walk, like we said. All right, here's an example. The soldiers crawled through the mud.
Oh.
Maybe they have to go under some bushes or, hide from the enemy, and they are on the ground really low.
They usually do that one where they pull themselves and they're flat on. I think that's called a belly crawl because you're on your belly, your stomach. But either way, you're going really low and you're moving. You should also crawl if there's a fire.
Yes.
Right? They tell you often
Get
to
down
crawl
low.
because the smoke will be over your head and hopefully you won't breathe the bad air. But anyways, he's being safe. She's being safe. They're going to crawl. But Mom is kind of wondering about Danny. I guess this big, heavy table is not a big dining room table. It might be just a small table in front of the sofa because Mom says, what about you? All right, what about you? What are you going to do?
Okay, well, Danny knows exactly how to answer.
He's going to scream and run around in circles.
Yes, he's going to jump on top of the table and make sure it's safe. Not really.
No.
He says, I'll stay by the couch and lie down. We should both cover our heads. Maybe like this.
Sure, cover your head like that, or with a pillow if you can find one, something like that. Because of course, if something heavy falls on your arm or leg, that's no good. But if it falls on your head, that's much worse. So protect your head.
Yes.
All right, so Mom says the shaking has stopped. So after a few seconds, the shaking stops, the earthquake seems to be over, and she says, I want to go outdoors. Mom doesn't like the
She
feeling
doesn't want to be inside
of
anymore.
being inside this shaky building. So she's like, let's go outside, hopefully to like a park out in the middle of nowhere, away from anything that can fall on our heads. So we have to talk about this word outdoors. Let's go do that right now. All right, so his mom said that she wants to go outdoors, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean she just wants to go out of a room, out of a door. When you say outdoors, really, you just mean outside, not in a building. Out in the open where you can look up and see the sky, where there's ground under your feet. You're not on a floor, there's no ceiling, so you're not inside. You're outside or outdoors. We can actually say inside for being in a building or indoors as well. So we can use outdoors or outside, indoors or inside, but outdoors is out in nature. For example, my cat is lazy and never wants to go outdoors. It doesn't want to go out and chase things around. It just lies on the sofa and sleeps all day.
Okay, so Mom wants to go outdoors.
Yes.
Danny agrees, but he has a stipulation.
Oh, really? There's a rule about going outdoors?
After an earthquake, he
Okay.
says, okay, but we should take the stairs. The elevator might not be working.
That is an excellent point. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
take the elevator or, well, I guess you could take an escalator, but stairs is safe too.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well,
Tell us about the elevator first.
Yeah, an elevator, this noun, is a machine that moves people and things from one floor in a building to another floor. Now, in tall buildings like the 101, elevators are necessary because it can be difficult to just get all the way up and down those
I
stairs.
wouldn't want to work on the 93rd floor.
No, it would just take too long to get up there. Also, even if you just live in a small apartment
Yes.
building, moving all of your
Oh, boy.
things up the stairs is just really tough. And if you're not in shape like me, taking the stairs all the time is tiring.
Oh, makes you so tired.
Yeah. All right, here's an example sentence. The elevator is broken, so we have to use the stairs.
Oh, okay. Definitely. Yeah, they say if the elevator is broken, but after an earthquake, also if there's a fire,
Right.
don't use the elevator.
No,
You
stairs
don't want to
only.
be stuck inside the elevator if
No.
suddenly the electricity goes off. That's why the stairs or a stopped escalator are much safer. Anyways,
right.
so Danny is speaking now, and he asks his mother a good question. He says, Mom, do we have an earthquake survival kit? Oh, interesting. That's something they would have had to prepare before. Let's find out about this word survival first. Survival is a noun. Basically, survival is when you don't die.
Right.
So well done. You didn't die. You have achieved survival. It's an odd word, but we basically use it to talk about situations where people could die, but they don't die. All
Right.
right. And we often also use it to talk about different skills or kits or equipment or
Right.
things like that. If you're going out into the world to do anything sort of dangerous, or you live in a part of the world where there could be danger, like in Taiwan with earthquakes, having a survival kit is useful. We'll talk about that, but basically it's things you might need in an emergency.
Right.
Survival is all about being able to handle a dangerous emergency without getting hurt or dying. For
Right.
example, the mountain climbers all took a class in first aid and survival skills. The first aid, we'll talk about that, but that's if someone gets hurt. Survival would be more like if you're in a plane crash, you're okay,
Right.
but you're far away from anyone who will rescue you.
How
have
do
to
you make a
find
fire?
Fire, food, water,
Warmth.
somewhere to stay,
Yep.
things like that. That's
Yep.
what survival skills or a survival kit will help you with.
That's right. All right. Well, Danny has asked his mom this very important question, and she
Yep.
has an answer. She says, no, we don't, but it's better to have one.
Well, yeah, but now it's a little late. But
Right.
anyways, they can still prepare some useful equipment. So Mom says, we need a flashlight and some spare batteries. Yeah, that's a very good thing to have in your survival kit.
Right.
A flashlight is one of those handheld lights you can use when there's no electricity, and a spare battery. Well, batteries are those little things you put in a lot of small electric machines, TV remote controls, your cell phone, these all have batteries. A lot of things like phones, you can plug it in and recharge the battery, but some of those other machines, like a TV remote or a flashlight, you have to change the battery, so a spare one is an extra one.
Right.
Basically, if this one dies, I got another one, we'll
Don't
be
worry.
okay.
Yeah. All right, so Danny continues by talking about some things that should be in this kit. He says, we should also put in first aid supplies like bandages.
Bandages.
All right, we did promise to talk more about first aid, so let's do that now. All right, let's talk about first aid. Now, first aid is a noun. It has two words, but we use them together in this sense all of the time. So, first aid is the medical treatment that a person receives before they can be taken to the doctor or a hospital. Now, this type of medical treatment is often done just to keep a person alive or safe. So, if you are asked to do first aid, you might have to perform the Heimlich maneuver on someone who's choking. You go, ooh, like this to get something out of their throat. That is first aid, right? Or if someone gets a really, really bad cut on their leg, you might wrap it up with bandages, which are like the white gauzy things that you can put on something to stop it bleeding. Now, that person would go to the hospital and the doctor would sort of clean it up, but first aid is performed before any of that can happen. Here's an example. The first aid kit is in the bathroom.
All right, and also something useful would be some supplies. Now, supplies is a noun. We usually only use it in the plural because you generally need more than one thing as supplies. And basically, supplies are what you need to just sort of live, all right? Especially when you're leaving home for something. Now, often, if there's an emergency, you might need supplies. But in a more normal way, if you go away from your home for the weekend, especially if you go camping or something like that, you need to bring not only somewhere to sleep, like a tent or a sleeping bag, but supplies would also be things like food and water and fuel for cooking that food. All right, so when we pack up a car to go on a long trip, especially a trip to the country, you'll need to bring supplies because stores are far away, your home is far away, you can't just go out and buy these things because there aren't stores nearby. That's when you need supplies. For example, do we have enough supplies for our camping trip?
So food, water, fuel. Yeah.
Survival kit, just in case.
Yeah. All right, well, we've talked about first aid supplies.
Yes.
We've talked about flashlights and spare batteries. But there's something important we're missing still, and Mom has that right now. She says water is important too.
Yes, TV's not important.
Of course, no. And she's not finished quite yet. She says we can add some energy bars as well in case we need food.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe some of those bars that are made with oats and fruit and stuff like that.
A Cliff Bar.
Energy bars. All right, so water and energy bars, they're small enough to keep inside of a kit. They'll keep you feeling not so hungry for a while. It's a good idea. Now, she used the phrase in case or in case that in that sentence. Now, we use this phrase to show that we do something in order to be prepared for something that might happen in the future. Now, you want to be prepared for things that happen in the future. So, if an earthquake does happen and you have this kit, then you are prepared. It might not happen, but you're still prepared even if it doesn't.
There you go. It's the smart thing to do because after the emergency, it's too late to go and get those supplies you need. So always be prepared before in case something bad does happen. All right. So next we read on and it says they go outside and continue talking. So Mom seems to have calmed down. They seem to be safe. The building seems to be fine. It's a good idea to go outside because there might be more shaking. We call these aftershocks. And they're also getting a good idea of what they need to get for next time.
Maybe Mom will grab her wallet and they can go to the 7-Eleven, the grocery store. And
bring your wallet, your phone, make sure you have an extra battery, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, they will. And you know what? If the earthquake wasn't too bad, they can go to the store and start shopping for that survival kit now.
There you go. Not a bad idea.
All right. Well, we've come to the end of today's article about earthquakes. We aren't finished quite yet. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our For You chat.
Oh.
For You chat.
All right, our For You chat question today, still about earthquakes, and kind of similar to what we talked about in the introduction today, but the question is, what other earthquake do's and don'ts do you know? Now, of course, do's and don'ts are things you should do and things you shouldn't do.
That's right. Things that are good ideas and also things that are bad ideas. Well, I think a good idea is to always sort of listen to the news after the earthquake. Of course, you'll hear about any damage, but as we mentioned, one earthquake could be the beginning of several other earthquakes too.
Right.
So just because the earthquake has happened, don't feel that it's immediately safe.
Right.
Do pay attention to the news on the radio or on your phone.
Yes.
Pay attention to those government warnings because, you know, if you do stay aware, you can save yourself from trouble. And also, you can save other people from having trouble. You know, like if you don't have to go somewhere, stay off the roads so that the fire trucks and other people can move around easily.
Here's another good don't. If a building does happen to collapse, don't go to that area just to see it.
No.
Right? People are trying to save others' lives, and fire trucks and ambulances and police need to be in there. And if you go there, oh, I just want to see this, that is, it's really impolite for one.
Yeah,
it's also
it's
dangerous
gross.
for another. And of course, I mean, it's not.
It's an earthquake. It's not a tourist attraction.
It's not an attraction.
Unless you happen to be a doctor or a firefighter.
And you can help in some way.
Right. But if you're just a casual person who just wants to see the cool stuff, stay home and watch it on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what other things can you think of? There are lots of do's and don'ts out there that you guys can talk about. We are finished for the day, though. So for English for You, I'm Erin.
And I'm Mike.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
An education in earthquakes.
Danny is at home with his mom.
The building is shaking. It's an earthquake.
It's a really big one.
Help! What if the building collapses?
Stay calm, Mom. We have to keep our heads. I learned what to do at the museum. Crawl under the table in the living room. It's big and heavy, so it'll protect us.
What about you?
I'll stay by the couch and lie down. We should both cover our heads.
The shaking has stopped. I want to go outdoors.
Okay, but we should take the stairs. The elevator might not be working. Mom, do we have an earthquake survival kit?
No, we don't, but it's better to have one. We need a flashlight and some spare batteries.
We should also put in first aid supplies like bandages.
Water is important too. We can add some energy bars as well, in case we need food.
They go outside and continue talking.
Vocabulary Review.
Crawl. This tunnel isn't big enough to walk in, so we'll have to crawl through it. Outdoors. It's so nice out today. Let's have a barbecue and eat dinner outdoors. Elevator. Does your building have an elevator, or will you have to carry these boxes up the stairs? Survival. The chances of survival in this desert are not good because there is little food or water. First aid. If you feel sick, visit the first aid tent. They'll give you water and a place to rest. Supplies. We have all the supplies we need for our trip, except extra tissues.
以上节目是由活用空中美語製作，活用空中美語雜誌，請洽詢全國各大書店。如欲索取試聽教材，請來電02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上網查詢，網址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net